Tonight, you're probably going to eat something that didn't exist 10,000 years ago. Bread, rice, pasta, even the salad you think is natural. None of it existed for 95% of human history. For nearly 300,000 years, your ancestors ate something almost unrecognizable to you. No bread, no cereal, no 3 meals a day. So what did they actually eat? The real answer is far stranger than meat and berries. Start with the myth. You've probably heard the phrase caveman diet. Steak, maybe a mammoth leg over a fire. It's a clean picture. It's also mostly wrong. Anthropologist Catherine Milton spent years studying primate and early human diets. Her research found something surprising. Early humans weren't primarily meat eaters. They were opportunists. Whatever was available, they ate. Insects, roots, bone marrow, tree bark in the worst months. Meat was a prize, not a daily meal. Why? Because hunting large animals with stone-tipped spears was slow, dangerous, and unreliable. You could spend 3 days tracking an animal and come back with nothing. Meanwhile, the ground never stopped offering food. Tubers, nuts, insects. Ancient humans learned to eat almost everything that moved or grew, because starvation was always one bad week away. Here's where it gets stranger. Termites and grubs weren't a last resort. In many early human diets, insects were a primary protein source, high in fat, easy to find, available year-round. Your ancestors weren't disgusted by this. Disgust toward insects is a cultural invention, not a biological one. Somewhere between 3 million years ago and today, humans decided bugs were gross. Your ancestors never got the memo. Now think about fire. Harvard biologist Richard Wrangham built an entire theory around it. He calls it the cooking hypothesis. His argument is simple but radical. Cooked food changed the human brain. Raw food takes enormous energy to digest. Cooking breaks down fibers and proteins before they even reach your stomach. That means more calories, absorbed faster, with less effort. Rankham's research suggests this surplus of energy is part of what allowed the human brain to grow to its current size. Fire didn't just keep ancient humans warm. It rewired what a human body could become. But cooking came late. For a huge stretch of human history, food was eaten raw, tough, and often barely edible by modern standards. Bone marrow cracked open with a rock. Wild greens so bitter they make you gag today. Fruit that was smaller, harder, and far less sweet than anything in a grocery store now. Wild bananas, for example, were mostly seed. Almost nothing to eat. Selective breeding did the rest, thousands of years later. Here's the twist. Ancient humans weren't eating for pleasure. They were eating for survival math. Every plant had to be checked. Is it poisonous? Is it in season? Does it need to be soaked, pounded, or cooked to be safe? Anthropologist Amanda Henry studied dental plaque from Neanderthal remains and found starch grains from plants, roots, and even cooked grains. Even before farming, humans were already experimenting with wild grasses, chewing them, cooking them, learning, slowly, which ones wouldn't make them sick. That detail matters. It means the line between hunter-gatherer and farmer is blurrier than you think. Long before anyone planted a seed on purpose, humans were already gathering wild grains, storing them, and figuring out how to prepare them. Farming wasn't a sudden invention. It was the slow endpoint of thousands of years of trial and error with wild food. And the diet wasn't the same everywhere. This is the part most people miss. There was no single ancient human diet. Coastal groups ate shellfish, fish, and seaweed. Groups near the equator ate more fruit and insects year-round. Groups in colder climates, especially during ice ages, ate far more meat and fat simply because plants weren't available for most of the year. Your ancestors adapted to whatever their specific patch of earth offered. Flexibility, not a fixed menu, was the real survival tool. That flexibility came with risk. Feast and famine weren't metaphors. They were monthly realities. A good hunt meant eating until you were sick because there was no refrigerator to save the rest. A bad season meant weeks of hunger, weight loss, and sometimes death. Your body still remembers this rhythm. That intense craving for fat and sugar you feel today, it's not a personal failure. It's a survival instinct built for a world where calories were never guaranteed. Which brings you to something uncomfortable. Modern researchers studying obesity and metabolism, including work referenced by Wrangham and others in evolutionary nutrition, point to a mismatch. Your body evolved for scarcity. It rewards you intensely for high-calorie food because for most of human history, finding that food was rare and difficult. Now that food is constant, cheap, and everywhere, that same ancient reward system works against you. Think about that the next time you can't stop eating something salty or sweet. You're not weak. You're running software built for a world that no longer exists. There's one more piece that rarely gets mentioned. Ancient humans didn't eat 3 meals a day. That structure is recent, tied to industrial work schedules and clock time. Before that, eating happened whenever food was found. Sometimes once a day, sometimes not at all. Sometimes constant snacking during a good harvest season. The rigid breakfast, lunch, dinner structure you follow isn't ancient wisdom. It's a modern invention layered on top of a body that never expected regular timing in the first place. So picture it now. Not a caveman gripping a giant meat leg by a fire. Instead, a small group crouched near a riverbank, cracking open shellfish. Someone else digging for roots with a sharpened stick. A child eating grubs pulled from under bark without hesitation, without disgust. Someone testing a wild grain, chewing it slowly, deciding if it's safe. No plates, no clocks, no certainty about the next meal. That was a normal human experience for hundreds of thousands of years. Constant adaptation, constant risk, constant flexibility. And somewhere in that mess of trial, error, hunger, and invention, the modern diet was born. Not from a single genius idea, from millions of small decisions made by people just trying to get through the week without starving. So tonight, when you eat something soft, sweet, and perfectly measured out on a plate, remember what it took to get here. Remember the grubs, the bitter roots, the bone marrow cracked open by hand. Tonight, you're going to eat something that didn't exist 10,000 years ago. But the hunger driving you to eat it, that's the oldest thing about you.